All right, all right, all right. What's up? And welcome to our Pacific 360 Open House event here at the University of the Pacific. I'm Luke Lee, professor of civil engineering, and I am excited to spend the next hour with you. So I'm sure you're all eager to dive right in. But before we do, let's go ahead and run a little poll so that we can get to know each other and see, what we're all interested in. And the question that I want to pose to you here in our poll is, why did you apply to UOP? Is it because Pacific is the right size university for you? Did you just want to live in California, enjoy the weather and the sun? Perhaps you are just thinking, man, I love the choice of majors that are available. And I want to be able to have options for me. So if you have a moment, go ahead and enter that poll result. And oh my gosh, the results are in. And yes, I am totally down with the idea of the university being the right fit for you, just that right size. I'm all about choosing a place and having opportunities that really just fits for your interests and your passions and your purpose. So thanks to everyone for participating. That was just a warm up. We're going to use polls again later in the session to get to know each other a little more as we make our way through to today's session. So keep your eye out for that. All right. So let me give you a quick rundown of what you can expect in today's session. We're calling today's session Pacific 360 Intersect. And that's because we're going to provide you with a 360-degree view of how the arts, sciences, engineering, technology all converge and intersect in some really cool and innovative ways for our students. We're going to share with you some awesome examples from Media X, as well as our conservatory and engineering and computer science. Throughout the session, you're going to hear directly from students and faculty, as well as one of our alumni. We're going to bring you into campus, show you around some of the spaces that you're going to probably spend a lot of time in. And most importantly, throughout the day or this hour, we want to hear from you. All right. So please feel free to use the Q&A to submit any questions you might have. There's an army of admissions people just waiting on your question. Really, there's just like 4 or 5. but ask that question anyway. We want to know what you want to know. You know what I'm saying? And you can actually like thumbs up, and we can't thumbs down. It's like Facebook, but you can thumbs up the questions, and those questions, if you like someone's questions, it'll move up the list. All right. So I'll be checking in with you throughout the session, and that's about it for the housekeeping. To kick things off, I'm going to pass it over to Layla, one of our art students, who's going to tell us a bit about her UOP experience. Let's see what she's up to.
Hello, my name is Layla Valencia, and I am a current graduate student at University of the Pacific. I'm currently working on my single subject teaching credential in art. My dream place was to become an art teacher here in Stockton and give back to the community. I actually ended up creating this really beautiful mural at University of the Pacific. And this is, I think, the culmination of my whole artistic career and educational career. And I just combined that and created a really powerful message that ended up being this huge piece on this wall that was massive that everybody can see walking through. And I wanted it to be something that everybody can connect to, right? So I thought I'd do it a mural on immigration, because I feel like we're all immigrants first from somewhere, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we are divided into certain categories. I wanted this to be a unity piece, a piece about us coming together, becoming one. There is no specific color that defines you. It is who you are in the inside that we should be really looking at, paying attention to, and appreciating.
All right, man, I am always impressed by what our students can express through art. That's awesome. We're only getting started, and Layla is just really one of the students you're going to hear from today. Next up, we're going to check out some really awesome spaces within the Media X program and some facilities that have just been totally reimagined and redesigned. All right, Kevin, it's all you.
Hi, I'm Kevin Pontucci, Chair of the Department of Art, Media, Performance, and Design, and Director of our Media X program. Since we couldn't give you a tour of our creative spaces in person, we hope you enjoy this tour of the spaces where our students learn, connect, and create really cool projects, just like the ones you're about to see now.
The Janette Powell Art Center is home to beautiful art and design studios where students can hone their drawing, painting, and foundational skills. Our creative labs, outfitted with the latest computers, are a place to take those skills and blend traditional mediums with digital tools. We have 2 film studios where students and faculty work with the latest camera, lighting, and special effects tools. Our green screen stage is one of the biggest anywhere. The Tiger Broadcasting Studio provides on-campus internships for students interested in TV, radio, and podcasting. And our motion capture studio connects actors with computer scientists to bring performances into the virtual world. But one of our coolest new spaces is the new digital media center in the library called the Innovation Commons. It's a place for students from across campus or any major to connect with creative technology. Let's start in the cube with Niraj. Hey, Niraj.
Hi, my name is Niraj and I work in the Cube. The Cube is a makerspace which is available to all students at Pacific. Here in the Cube, we offer all sorts of cool technology from drones, virtual reality, 3D printing. We also offer workshops and boot camps on a variety of topics. We also employ students for fellowships and internship. Behind me is a gigantic digital wall, which is used by students and faculty and artists to present their work. And right down from here is 4 state-of-the-art editing bays, which Hannah will talk about. So take it away, Hannah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Hannah. I'm a 4th-year Media X major here at UOP. Currently, I'm in Bay number 1, working on this Sundance project, which highlights students' experiences from attending Sundance this year. We have really great collaboration tools such as Frame.io and editing tools on Adobe like Premiere Pro and After Effects. I work in post for the department, making marketing materials and working with professors on projects. And it's been a really great professional experience, especially here in the editing bay. Which reminds me, I should probably get back to work. Back to you.
Okay, now I'm going to show you one of my favorite spaces. This is the experimental exhibition space we call the X Space. It has 4 high-resolution projectors aimed at the walls and a sound system built into the ceiling. We do some really interesting exhibitions and performances in here. We've had interactive VR exhibits in here. One of our students created a horror film tribute for Halloween that was really fun. But one of my favorite events was a collaboration with the Music Conservatory that mixed experimental music with animation, all rolled into an immersive sound art performance. Check that out. You see, it's the sound driving the images in color. It's just so cool. Okay, last thing. Niraj mentioned the digital interactive wall. Check out what virtual reality artist Steve Cooper had to say when we showed it to him.
Oh my God, this is gonna be insane. This is truly this is where it's just a wonderful way to be able to show this kind of content. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
So that's a quick look at some of the spaces and opportunities that you'll get to experience here this fall. There's really so much more that we'd like to show you, but hopefully that sparks the imagination. Next up, we're taking you on an off-campus road trip. Let's roll that video.
I think Stockton has a really bright future because of its people, because of the people that care. Something I learned about Stockton is that there are a lot of hidden gems around the city, and you really have to get out there and just put yourself out there and just explore a little with your friends.
Especially going to UOP, every single year you kind of get more and more of a sense of the city that you live in. It's kind of excessively friendly with the people that have actually stopped to like talk to and have interactions with. It's really friendly, and there are a lot of people just kind of hidden amongst the ranks that really want to make the city a better place, which I think is actually pretty unique.
I think it's a very personal decision where you decide to go to college and spend those 4 years of your life. At Pacific, you know you'll get a great education, but you'll also have a really good time. You'll be a part of a really strong and thriving community.
I like being in Stockton because it's a short drive from a ton of California treasures like San Francisco, Yosemite, and Lake Tahoe.
Yes, wow, man. I live in Stockton, and sometimes it's easy to forget just how many fun things there are to do there. And it's just a short drive away in the Bay Area, you know what I'm saying? So this is actually a really good opportunity for us to run another poll and get a sense of who's in the room. So let's imagine, close your eyes, envision your future, right? Your first year, you're here in your first year at UOP. You've been here a few weeks, you've got study buddies, you're crushing it in all your classes, and you're feeling pretty settled. You finally have an opportunity to take a road trip or a day trip with some of the new friends that you've made, and you got to figure out, where do you want to go? So this next poll question is, where do you want to go on your first off-campus adventure? Do you want to go check out a sporting event, like check out the Giants or the Warriors in San Francisco? Go on a hike in Yosemite? Yes. Go sightseeing in San Francisco, or maybe just chill at home and just veg out and sleep in. You got to catch up on some sleep. But man, I wonder what I would be doing. I might just go, I would totally go on that hike in Yosemite. Oh my gosh, right? El Capitan, man. Yes, I'm all about Yosemite. I'm glad that so many people are down with that too. But really, what's awesome about California is really there's just something for everyone, right? And I might just be chilling at home and hitting up some food trucks and all that. So I'm hoping that piques your interest and makes you want to, head out and at least visit UOP here when you get a chance. So we've had an opportunity to hear from some of our students, some of the faculty. Now we want to introduce you to one of our alumni. All right. So at Pacific, we've got a global network of alums from the Conservatory, Media X, and Engineering and Computer Science who are just contributing at every level. We're talking about entrepreneurs, innovators, researchers, performance artists, C-suite executives, and storytellers. All right. So next up, we're going to meet one of our current students, Michael, and one of our alums from the Communications and PR program. Let's roll the video.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Camacho. I'm a third-year senior at the University of the Pacific, and my major is Media X at the College of the Pacific. And today I have with me Drew Hagan. Drew is the co-founder and chief culture officer at Envision Communications in Walnut Creek, California. And he also has other offices in Chicago and New York. Drew, it's a pleasure to have you here today.
Pleasure to be here. It's fantastic.
Cool. All right, so Drew, first off, I planned a bit of an icebreaker for us. Many of the older students are probably rolling their eyes right now because they've done a lot of icebreakers in their years at Pacific, but it's going to be fun. So UOP is constantly evolving, and I'd love to just get like a snapshot of what your time at Pacific was like on campus. I promise it's not going to be too challenging. Just give me the first answer that pops into your head, and I'll do the same. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Cool. All right, so here we go. When did you graduate from UOP?
1985.
I will be graduating May 2021. Did you paint on the graffiti rock?
Our fraternity late one night, 3 a.m, painted on it, but I can't tell you what we did.
And same here. I painted my roll number late at night on the graffiti rock when I was initiated into beta. What was your major?
I was a civil management engineer. That's what I started out as, and I ended up as a communications PR major.
And I'm a Media X major with a minor in philosophy. What was your favorite class at UOP?
Well, not really a class. It was one of the activities, but was a class. It was working on the Pacifican because my passion for photography really came out during that time frame.
Very nice. Very nice. My favorite class is actually one of the classes I'm taking, my capstone. I'm doing a mental health awareness project with a virtual event attached to it. Where was the first place you lived on campus?
Southwest. I was one of the few freshmen in Southwest. It was not really a freshman dorm, but that was my first experience living on campus.
And John Ballantyne was mine. It's one of the newest residence halls on campus. What was the last place you lived?
I lived across the street at now Dave Brubeck Way, but it was 666 West Stadium Way. It was an apartment house there.
What an interesting number for an address.
Yes.
Mine was actually Southwest as an RA.
Hmm.
What was your favorite place on campus?
Well, it sort of goes back to the favorite class I was in. We hanging out at the Pacific Inn with all these different personalities, whether it was someone in the arts or somebody, one of the sports people or editorial. I was the photography editor, and hanging out in that area was my favorite. The darkroom, particularly, time got lost there.
Yeah. One of my favorite places to hang out on campus was definitely at the fraternity house for Beta after I got initiated. What about off campus? Where was your favorite place there?
Well, there was not a single favorite place. One of the unique things about UOP is there's so many wonderful areas that you can go to within an hour. Whether you could go up to Tahoe or into San Francisco. I mean, maybe it's a little further than an hour, but as students, we we took advantage of that as much as we could. A lot of skiing and a lot of time on the Delta.
Very nice. That sounds like a great way to spend a weekend. My favorite place was actually right down the street. It was Rasputin Records. I love collecting vinyl records, and I would take my friend Gavin with me probably once a week, whether forcefully or voluntarily. Where'd you go to grab food, like a burger?
Oh, Manny's. That was the place to go. It was always full of UOPers, and a lot of our fraternity friends were there too. So we'd go there. Great fresh bread and great burgers.
I'll have to check it out the next time I'm in Stockton. My place is Midnight at Bernie's, a little bit further away from Pacific, but amazing burgers also. What was your first job after you left UOP?
Well, my first job I had after UOP was a job I did not end up having. I was supposed to go back to my high school, be director of development, be a photography teacher, be the golf coach. And for reasons that we can talk about later, that did not come through. Back then, you looked at the want ads for what you're looking for a job, and there was a job for a company that did corporate communications. I thought people went to hotels for vacations, but they went there for a meeting. So that was my first job, a company called Creative Establishment. And they, oddly enough, had offices in San Francisco, New York, and Chicago, just like we do now.
Campus, it's changed quite a bit since you've been, but that sense of community is still always there. And if there's one thing that I've definitely noticed is that UOP has made an impression on you. You mentioned your major was, civil management, engineering, and communication and public relations, later on. How do you think your experience here at UOP, led you down the path to be able to start Envision Communications?
Well, I think that the core values that UOP instilled on all their students really helped me. And that is, UOP challenged me. UOP brought new options for me that I didn't think existed. UOP gave me mentorship that was not available to me. It also had a fantastic openness that you could talk to any professor pretty much at any time. It wasn't a research-driven university, which a lot of them are, and it's at a great sweet spot. It's sort of that hidden jewel size-wise that you can come in, you can make some mistakes. You can find out where your left and right turns are, and that's continued to evolve how Envision has become Envision after 31 years of being in business at Envision. We've made a lot of left and right turns. We've tried a lot of different things. We've experimented, all things that you should do while you're in college because it allows you to do it even in a faster, more efficient fashion when you're out of college.
I would absolutely agree. Having a broad horizon of different skills, tools, trades, even mindsets is it's a great way to just like develop yourself as a person. And I would definitely agree that, at my time Pacific, that still resonates very true, that they instill that in you, is to, be experimental, try different things. And also just having that support group there to, help you realize those different ambitions or passions, or, your interests, is definitely there at Pacific.
Michael, put yourself in the position of probably some people watching this program. What attracted you to UOP?
So I went to a small high school. When I went to a very small high school. My graduating class was no bigger than 75 students, and I was originally going to go to a UC or CSU, and we were learning about all the different, like, oh, these are great colleges for this, or like all the different programs, but I didn't even know Pacific existed, and I came across them at a local junior college. And the things that drove me were the Media X program was brand new at the time. I don't even think it had been around for a semester by then, but just the ability to experiment with all these different pathways and not have to be, grounded down into one discipline for 4 years. That really, it just sounded amazing to me. And then the class size too. I mean, I've had classes as small as like 5 students and no bigger than like 20. And that's really something that means a lot to me, because it means I get to know my professors better and my professors get to know me better. I actually feel a deeper connection with my professors because of that. And when I went to go tour the college, everybody there was super happy. Everybody there was really supportive, informative, and the campus is beautiful too. But those were some of the main reasons, why I chose Pacific. And also too, Media X itself had all these access to like emerging technologies and really teaching us about how, how to be able to adapt to these new technologies as they come around, which, Envision Communications has been doing a lot of, I'm sure, on a daily basis. I mean, even just this year, you had to adapt to, virtual events like we're doing right now. So how do you think that like media and technology has influenced storytelling when it comes to like, reaching an audience, reaching your consumers, or maybe even reaching one of your clients?
Well, it's super important, and it's become more and more important as every day goes on. That when we work with our clients, it's truly about storytelling. They have a message. They're selling a product. They're selling a service, and we help them craft that message to their audience. And we use a lot of technology. And as technology changes over time, it's more and more important to have the knowledge of those different technologies so you can make the message as concise as possible and make sure that you're targeting the audiences as much as possible too, and also having different avenues of which people can consume that information. And technology's played a huge role in that, and we've evolved over time, over 30 plus years, as I mentioned, on a daily, weekly basis to bring new ideas and new technologies to our clients.
That all sounds amazing. I mean, what I've read from Envision Communications, that's definitely very prevalent, is that always using these emerging technologies at your fingertips. But with emerging technologies and also always changing up, what you're doing or evolving and adapting means, maybe hiring new employees. So my next question is, when college students go to apply for internships or jobs, what are some of the qualities or qualifications that, you would look for in a potential candidate?
Well, being passionate and being passionate about something you've done is key. I love what you talked earlier about supporting your community, being curious, a thirst for learning, a thirst for trying new things, being open to feedback, working well in groups, and also getting through challenging situations. You're going to have them all throughout your life, but if you've had a couple earlier on, I think it helps you with a great foundation so that you can move forward and achieve more and be open to different ideas. So those are the 4 or 5 things that we look for to help people, that we want to have to bring on to our staff. We can teach them the tools of the trade, but it's great that UOP has the Media X program because some of those tools are fantastic, and to have some speed on those so they can bring those ideas right to the mix at the beginning is amazing. That wasn't available 30 years ago, but it really is amazing that it is available now.
So that's all the questions that I have. Drew, I just wanted to take a moment, as a student myself, and I hope I speak for all the incoming students that are watching this, thank you for taking time out of your day, to come speak, with us about your story at Pacific, and your advice to these incoming students. It really does mean a lot. And I mean, it's extremely helpful, extremely insightful. I'm honored to be able to be the one to, interview you or, have this chat with you about it.
Well, I'm honored to be talking with you. You're an amazing young gentleman, and you're going to go far. And this is an amazing school. I talked to all the people that are watching this. I'm available if there's anyone that has any questions of what they want to do before college, after college, during college. There's so much opportunity out there. I'm jealous. I wish I was hopping back into college myself. So thank you for your time also. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks again, Drew and Mike. We appreciate that they both took their time out to share their thoughts and experiences about UOP. Based on that interview, I hope you had a sense of how our alumni are very much in connection with our students. And not only do they give back to our university, they're more than willing to make themselves accessible to current students and other alumni. Access to alumni is really just one of the many benefits that are available to you as a student on day one. Now, next up, we've got an opportunity here to meet with some of our students in a student panel. And we've got several students that are here with us today. I think they're all here. It looks like they're all here. So first up, we've got Kayla, who's a double major in Media X and Engineering Management. Kayla, can you take a moment to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Kayla Goldsfeet. I'm a fourth year student double majoring in Engineering Management and Media X, and I'm currently Zooming with you all today from my hometown in Tracy, California.
All right, thanks Kayla. And also with us today is Quentin, who is a graphic design major. Quentin, could you share a little bit about yourself too?
Yeah, hey y'all, my name's Quentin Belcher. I'm a fourth year graphic design major, and I'm coming to y'all live from my hometown in Houston, Texas.
Nice. All right, and last but not least, we have Brian, who is a music composition major. Brian, could you also provide a little intro for yourself?
Hi, I'm Brian Bowie. I'm a music composition major. I'm a senior right now. I'm about to graduate, and I'm Zooming from Stockton, California.
Yes. Hey, thank you all for being here today. I really appreciate you joining us this afternoon. So let me get right into it. Let me ask my first question to Kayla. Kayla, you are a double major, and that is no small feat with Media X and Engineering. How did you decide on coming to UOP, and why did you want to really be a double major in two programs?
Well, I initially applied to UOP solely for the engineering program. I liked how the class sizes were small, so you could have a more personal connection to your professor. I also appreciated the co-op program, which allows students to take 2 semesters out of the classroom and into the workforce to gain job experience. I, for one, am super excited to be working on that next semester. And for what made me want to share my focus across 2 programs was just taking advantage of the opportunity to double major. When I was a freshman, Media X was a relatively new program they were implementing on campus at the time. And leading up to college, along with being in my high school's engineering academy, I was also highly involved within our theater and media arts department as well. So towards the end of my freshman year, I began to miss out on participating in like stage production, having chosen to focus solely on engineering. So I just told my advisor how I was feeling at the time, and they brought up the idea to double major. I thought it was a great idea. We were able to incorporate it into my set plan, and thank God everything kind of just fell into place from there.
Man, it's good to hear that there was someone you could actually reach out to, your faculty advisor, and get feedback and to process your thoughts. So that's awesome to hear. Let's go to Brian. Brian, hey, I know you just had your senior composition recital. So what were you most proud of about that?
I really enjoyed just getting everyone together for the project. I worked on choral composition for my senior project, so it was really nice to contact some of my friends and get that all together. And I also was able to have percussionists play my piece. There was a really fun lion dance piece, and I got to talk to my cousin's high school lion dance ensemble, and it was just great to see them all dancing in those costumes.
Oh man, that's awesome, dude. Hey, did in addition to music composition, aren't there some other things that you're involved with on campus or in the community? Could you share a little bit about that?
On campus, I'm part of the professional music fraternity, Mu Phi Epsilon, and we do a lot of music-based community service. So we go to hospitals and nursing homes, and we play music for the folks over there. And I also do a couple student-run shows around here, like the Filipino Club runs Isang Puso, which is a benefit concert, and I usually break out my traditional Vietnamese instrument and play
Oh
right
yeah.
there.
Hey man, hey, do they serve food at those events?
Not that I remember.
Oh really? I think I'd go for the food, and then I could be like a backup dancer. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, all right, I gotta stick with the script here. All right, Quentin, how has this for you, Quentin? How has Pacific helped you grow and expand your areas of artistic interest?
So that's a good question to answer. After taking about a couple of classes, especially one of my favorites, Photo One, I was able to find my way around like a camera and stuff. And later on, once I got a job on campus as a sports marketing intern for Pacific Athletics, I was able to actually be one of the graphic designers and take sports photography of some of the athletes. And so I think it's a really great experience just to get yourself in the door and everything for when you want to go out of UOP and know what you want to do. And it also gives me a really great feeling to know that the stuff that I create on a computer is being used out there for like athletic events, like the sports emails that they sent out. And it's just really good feeling.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, were you always into photography even before Pacific? Or is
I
that
was
something?
actually. I
Oh
was
yeah.
actually. I think once I took the photo class, it just sort of like enhanced my interest even more.
Okay. Oh wow. So you were able to really grow that interest during your time here. That's
Right,
awesome.
exactly.
That's awesome. All right, I got a question for everybody, and the question is, how has collaboration, whether with students, faculty, or staff, or people in the community, how has that been a part of your experience at Pacific? Maybe we'll start with Kayla. We'll go to Kayla first.
So collaborating with people as a student at Pacific becomes so second nature because you're doing it every day. As I began to grow more into Greek life and I joined my professional fraternity, Theta Tau, we began to put on events. I became in more like leadership positions. So collaborating with people is something I really had to get used to, whether it was with faculty to schedule them to come speak at one of our sessions, or just collaborating with different students, organizations to just expand our outreach. It's very comfortable with everyone. It's very easy to talk to anyone in the ULP faculty. So something I have to do often, and it's very easy doing.
Cool. Yeah. Special shout out to Theta Tau. I gotta give a shout out to Theta Tau engineering. Brian, how about you in collaboration? What are your thoughts?
As a musician, collaboration kind of is unavoidable. Even as a composer, people think, oh, composers, they sit on their own and write music all day, but you still have to contact performers and put on recitals, and that involves so much collaboration, getting people together. And I'm so fortunate that the composition program here actually partners with the student ensembles so that we can actually hear our pieces performed live instead of just a MIDI mock-up.
Yeah, that's really like I think a lot of times people don't think about the management side of music. We think about playing and performing, but there's that whole management and behind the scenes aspect that it seems like you had a lot to do with. Cool, thanks, man. Hey, Quentin, how about you and collaboration? What are your thoughts about and your experience at Pacific?
Experience. In my second year, actually, I was a resident assistant. So being able to connect with first year students and just make Pacific a warm and like welcome place for them to start their education. I think it was a really great way to collab with like housing and stuff to bring life to UOP, especially with my artistic ability. I can make residence halls look like, wow, like all artistic and stuff and everything. So yeah, that's my thoughts about collaboration here at Pacific.
Oh, cool, cool. All right, so the next one, we get a bunch of like guest artists or guest speakers on campus for whatever event. So the question is, can you tell us about a guest artist or guest speaker that you remember that was memorable or maybe had an impact on you while you were at Pacific? How about this one? I'll start with Brian. Brian, what are your thoughts? Or what's your experience?
The one I remember the most was Aquafina. This was right after Crazy Rich Asians came out, and she's just so charismatic and funny, and I really enjoyed showing up. I actually remember I forgot my ID before the event, so I had to run 15 minutes back to my home in Stockton and come back just to catch the rest of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Aqua. Man, yes, yes, yes. I saw Raya the Last Dragon. Did you see the right? Anyway. All right. Let's see. Next, Kayla.
For me, mine was Amanda Seals. We just had her this semester. She's a comedian and television personality, and I just love her commentary on the Black experience in America today. I kind of look at her as like a role model on like how to never settle, how the world may treat you just because of the color of your skin, and to always demand for respect, especially when you're qualified just as anybody else. So.
Yeah, that seems really impactful and really like in the moment, you know what I'm saying, with everything going on. Quentin, how about you?
So I had to agree with Brian. Aquafina was definitely one, but I don't want to repeat him or anything. So we actually had a Bob Ross experience about in 2020. So me being an art major, I'm all over that. And so I think a lot of it was just believing in yourself and knowing that you can pretty much create anything. You don't have to necessarily be an artist, because as Bob Ross would say, like, it's your canvas, you do whatever you want with it.
Yes, thank goodness for Netflix, because it brings Bob Ross back. You know what I'm saying? It's just, man. I gotta say, for me, I want to share a little bit. I remember when I first got to campus here, but I don't even know if you know this person, Macklemore. He was actually here in concert. Do y'all know Macklemore? Yeah, he was in concert. That was awesome. Anyway, that was a good experience. So, well, I'm really glad that we had this time to catch up and chat. It was great seeing you all in Zoom. I do appreciate you taking the time and just sharing your experience with us and giving us your insights and your experience at Pacific. I'm hopeful that maybe us three, we can us four, we can all get together in the fall in person during homecoming or something. So I'll see you all. Have a great Saturday. Bye, everyone. All right. So hopefully you gained a little insight about the conservatory and in this student panel. I'm hoping that maybe with what Brian said, that you got a little insight into the conservatory. And so now we're going to continue with that idea of the conservatory, and we're going to show Abby here, who's going to share with us her experience in the conservatory during her time at Pacific.
Hi, my name is Abby Vanderwater, and I am a freshman at UOP, and I am also a chemistry and music double major. The more I looked at colleges, the more I realized that there weren't a lot of them out there that would let me, or at least give me the support to do 2 sub-degrees that are completely different from each other. Like chemistry and music, there's at least 10 degrees of separation. Because Pacific is so small that it really allows the different departments to communicate with each other better. I wouldn't just be dealing with the music side, dealing with the chemistry side, and having to fit that together on my own. I would be able to say, okay, I have 2 departments, help me figure out a plan, help me figure out a schedule, and they could talk to each other so that they could give me the best options for what I wanted. That was what really sold me on Pacific, and I have to say, it has not failed me yet, and I doubt it ever will.
All right. Wow. Abby's experience with supportive faculty is definitely music to my ears. Thanks, Abby. And so continuing with our focus on the conservatory, I'm going to turn it over to Benham Plum, who's over in our recording studio. Benham is one of our associate professors and also the director of our music industry studies and music management programs. What's going on, Benham?
Hey, good to see you, Luke. Nice to see you guys. Here we are coming live from campus. It's a beautiful day. And so I'm going to take you guys on a quick little tour through our Owen studio facilities, as well as you'll hear, we've got some students here practicing today. So here we go. And so I'll tell you a little bit about our program as we go through the journey. Most of our students get jobs in the music business on different sides of the business. So some of our students may go to work doing production, and down this hallway we have a computer lab where students work on their digital audio workstations, but I want to spend this little short tour upstairs. And so some of our students may go to work at companies like Spotify. We have some alumni that work in Facebook music. We also have students that work in music publishing or for concert promoters or artist management companies, as well as record labels. And as you can hear for just a moment, beautiful music being played. So I'll give you a quick tour here. This is our Pack Avenue Records office. This is our student-run record company. And this is set up really nice for our departmental meetings, whether it be creative or administrative, for students to listen through mixes, look through music videos. And of course, guys, if you're working with artists, you gotta have some merch. So all the boxes here are for a good purpose. That is full of artist merch that we're going to start selling on campus when everybody's back. This Owen 208 is our beat studio. So students can come in here and work on their digital music. And we've got a nice Ableton push controller here. Can't wait to get in here and play on this myself, y'all. In addition to this beat studio also has the ability for video editing. So when we're working with the student artists on the student-run record label, we'll come in here and work on some music and work on some video editing. And we also have some very nice vibes here with our pillows. And now I'll take you into the awesome studio facilities. This is Professor Crawford. Say hi, Professor Crawford.
Hello, welcome to the Owen studio. Take a look around.
Yeah, thanks for having us here. And look, we got Jeff here. Professor Crawford is working on a session right now. So we've got some nice digital equipment as well as some analog. And Professor Crawford has these amazing music synthesizers here for us to play with when everyone is on their best behavior. And this is our tracking room. As you can see, we can fit a grand piano right now. This has been prepared for a student who's doing his senior project, senior recital. Under normal times here, we may be able to fit a 4 or 5 piece band, but just an awesome opportunity here for students to get in and work on music together. These facilities are open 24/7. So it is always busy and bustling with music being made. So I appreciate you guys being here on this tour with us. Thanks so much. We're looking forward to having you on campus and making some music together. Luke, I'm going to throw it back to you.
Thanks, Benham. Man, that's awesome. That was just a small preview of the studio spaces and technology that you have access to in the conservatory. What is crazy is that all of the majors in the conservatory have access to these rehearsal and classroom and practice spaces. And we have a lot of students who even meet up and hold outdoor practices as well. Shoot, and those just end up turning into impromptu concerts across campus every now and then. I hope you're getting the idea that there really is a lot to explore across campus. And in this hour, we really have just been scratching the surface. So if you're really interested in learning way more than what you're learning today, I want to let you know, I'm going to give a little plug here, that we've got 2 more Pacific 360 open house events coming up on April 24th and April 28th. So mark your calendars. On those days, there's going to be a focus on our business, health sciences programs, and there's going to be a lot of sharing about student connections and faculty and the impact that they're making on our campus and our Stockton community. All right, so now let's move over to the School of Engineering and Computer Science. I'm going to turn it over to Abel Fernandez, Professor of Engineering Management and several of the students. Abel, over to you.
Thanks, Luke. So Luke probably doesn't remember, but about 3 or 4 years ago, I taught a class right after his, and he had just finished an hour lecture on shear forces. There's nothing drier than shear forces. 20 students come out, everybody's smiling and full of energy. This is the way Luke really is. I mean, he's just a wonderful professor. But today I want to talk to you about virtual reality and what I've been helping students create. I've been helping students create worlds of fantasy, worlds of make-believe in which we can immerse ourselves, but with a serious purpose. So let me give you a taste of this. And so we're going to show it on, and clearly you're watching it on a monitor. We intend for you to watch it in an immersive environment using Oculus Quest. And so I'll show you what we mean by this. So let me give you a taste of these virtual reality worlds that we're creating. If you could roll the video for me, please, and we will get a sense of it. So imagine a world in which we can get together to perhaps at the beginning of a semester, or we can have fun with, and we can, you're in this immersive environment and team building, or you're running through labyrinths, or you are trying to fight your way through a forest. But this is a means to an end, because what we do is we not only immerse our students, but we want them to use these tools and use their creativity and their imagination and how we can go about having our imagination take flight in not in a fanciful way, but in a purpose. And we're scholars, and you see, we involve our students in conferences. Ryan and Sabrina, you will now hear from them, their experiences. We have them write papers and present papers in conferences. So that's what we're trying to do. And more than the faculty doing it, it's the students that are doing this. So let me introduce the three people that are really key in this development and this research work. First of all, let me start with Keely. I know Keely. I know her
Hello,
husband.
Abel.
I know her father. I know her brother. And so more than anything, she truly is a Renaissance woman. So she'll tell us, she's a digital project manager at the library. She'll give us a little taste of what the library is like now.
Thanks, Abel. Yes, like you mentioned, I am the digital project manager here at Pacific. I'm also a Pacific alum. I have family working in Pacific. My husband's at Pacific, so I'm pretty much bleeding orange if you were to cut me. So I also work at this amazing makerspace located inside the Pacific Library called The Cube, which you heard about earlier. The Cube is filled with the latest immersive technology for students to use for their projects, ranging from 3D printing to VR headsets. The equipment is available for you to use, and expert help is there to guide you along your creations. The Cube is located inside the William Knox Holt Memorial Library on the Stockton campus, and this newly renovated library is filled with spacious, comfy study spaces, helpful librarians, books, special collections, writing, and tutoring services. So whether you want to create the next blockbuster software experience, quietly study in a private space, get one-on-one tutoring, snuggling up with a hot beverage in a book, or get expert help on your next research project, the library is your place to go, and I really hope to see you there.
Thank you, Keely, and it really is a wonderful place now. So next I want to introduce you to Sabrina Rodriguez. I've known Sabrina for 5 years. She played tennis for the university. I know her dad, I know her family. I even know Nacho, her dog. So anyway, Sabrina, tell us a little bit about your experience and the role you've played in virtual reality.
Hi everyone, I'm Sabrina Rodriguez, an Ecuadorian native. I came here to Pacific for my undergrad to play tennis for the Pacific team, wearing the t-shirt. And I decided to end up staying for my graduate degrees because I really like the community here at Pacific. I came for my undergrad and I had a great support from athletics. To be a student athlete, since the university is so small, you really get to know the professors, the athletic community, which makes it like very easy to succeed. As a graduate student now, I am being able to apply the knowledge that I have learned at Pacific, being able to create projects like the ones you saw, virtual reality, collaborating with undergrad students, guiding them, and having Dr. Abel Fernandez as our main guide to create this type of project. So I'm very happy about it.
Thank you.
Sabrina. And she really does have a little puppy named Nacho. So next is Ryan. So unfortunately, I've only known Ryan for 3 months, and I've only known him virtually, but we've worked together. Ryan is I think a junior, right, in computer science, and he has been the creator of the bits and pieces of this virtual reality world. So Ryan, tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience.
So yeah, as you just said, I'm a junior at the School of Engineering and Computer Science, a computer science major. And so, recently we were thinking, with this virtual age that we're all kind of in, where a lot of things are being done virtually, it's a shame that people can't tour the campus and see what it looks like. I mean, you can see it in photographs and stuff, but and so we looked into, like, could we use this with VR? Could we use this new technology to have people see, the campus in a new way? And with that, we're using something called photogrammetry, which is a technology where you take a whole bunch of photographs, right? And then have the computer analyze what points they have in common and reconstruct a 3D space, like a 3D scan. And we're trying to use that and, make an application that you can sort of go in and visit part of the campus.
And Ryan is underestimating the effort. When he says a whole bunch, he means thousands of pictures, each of which have megabits. And so we are trying to, or not we, Ryan is stitching all these together so that through an Oculus Quest, we can actually be on campus no matter where we are. So that's our intent. We want to take virtual reality from a place of fun and games, but to a place of serious intent, of where we can use it for classroom learning, for engineering applications, and as a means for learning. So I'm grateful to not only be at Pacific, but to know students like this. And then to know Luke, he's 3. If I ever have a bad hair day, I just go see Luke and I come out and I'm just smiling and full of energy. So anyway, I hope to see you next year at Pacific. And in fact, my daughter is going to Pacific. That's how much I believe in it. So anyway, thanks everybody. And I do hope to see you in the fall.
All right. Thanks, Abel. And so that was awesome. And just to learn about how your students are leading this virtual space, So next up, we're going to meet another student from our School of Engineering and Computer Science. Let's roll that video.
Hello, my name is Jason Tiltran, and I'm a computer engineer attending UOP. I am on my second semester of the master's program. My favorite memory at Pacific is actually the last semester I had for undergrad, where we were working on senior projects. I was taking a lot of courses during that time. I was actually working on things I particularly enjoyed. The process of actually designing and implementing my senior projects was great. And not only that, since it wasn't super hardware oriented, we were able to do that remotely since that was the beginning of the pandemic. During that time, I was also working on research, essentially flight planning for this UAV that was taking data, depth data from bodies of water. So I thought that was super interesting. We were actually able to publish a paper on that. So I thought that was really great. I thought Dr. Basha was really helpful. She was the one that was heading that research, so me getting into it, I would like to thank her for that. And then moreover, she's been great in terms of providing advice for what I needed and what I wanted out of my career. So that is my time at Pacific. Thank you so much.
All right. So hopefully with some of these examples, you've been able to see how students and faculty are so well connected at Pacific. We're going to continue with our technology focus, and I'm excited to share with you Ryan and Gavin. They're going to share some details about a video game they are creating for their senior capstone project. All right, let's go.
Gaming has been a huge hobby of mine for a long time. And to finally work on a game, especially as a school project, is very rewarding. The game is called Gehenna. It's this sprawling epic that's being written by my friend Gavin McCoy, and It's this kind of, it takes place in this indescript time period where there's fantasy, or there's, there's like dark magic and technology, but it's all kind of wrapped up in this very simplistic visual style of the early 90s era of, early 3D video gaming.
I remember the first time I played and beaten a video game. It's when I was 3 years old, and that was Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, the video game adaptation of those movies. As I grew older, I've been wanting to basically make games. The problem was I kind of dislike programming, but that didn't really stop me from beginning to do this project. My goal for Gehenna by the end of the semester is to get a fully functional game design document and narrative document as a companion piece to be shown off to potential investors or even other game publishing companies. Obviously, with just me and my concept artist Ryan, we cannot create a full project by ourselves within 5 to 6 months. Pacific prepared me in a lot of ways beyond the obvious advancement of technical skills with game design, and even if it's just going to be a concept with a demo, but a concept nonetheless by the end of it, I hope to fully utilize that concept as a demonstration of what I can do in a game design environment.
Oh man, yes. I am genuinely impressed every time I see that video. Man, forget LOL, hello LOG. You know what I'm saying? Gehenna. Hey, so thanks to Ryan and Gavin for sharing their game. I am looking forward to playing. What an hour it's been. I can't believe it's already up. So one of the, I just want to let you know, one of the main themes for today was Pacific's 360 open house event. And the idea was intersection. And my hope is that you got to see how Media X, the conservatory, and computer science all converge and come together to really create amazing opportunities and moments and memories for our students. And our students get a chance to pursue what they're passionate about and really discover their purpose in the process. So we're pretty much at the end of our time here today. And my hope is that you'll keep a few things in mind. All right. The admissions team would love to continue the conversation with you. They're eager to answer all your questions. But if you're ready and you're ready to commit, confirm your enrollment now. We would love for you to do that by May 1st. Also, we've got 2 more Pacific 360 open house events coming up, April 24th and April 28th. We're going to talk more about student connections and the faculty and student impact on our campus. You're going to have some more examples from the business and health sciences program. And it's just going to be another great opportunity to learn about Pacific and all the opportunities available for you and that we have for our students. We hope we answered most of your questions during this past hour. But if anything comes up or you have any more questions about your acceptance, financial aid, or anything else, please don't hesitate to reach out to our Office of Admission, and our admission counselor will get right back to you. I want to thank you so much for spending this hour with us. I look forward to seeing you on campus in the fall. Bye.